My name is Matt Langen. I'm the founder and CEO of Stuccco. Started this company in 2015, and Stuccco became an online interior design platform, or an e-design platform, around 2018, and it was intended to be a way to discover, connect with, and collaborate with online interior designers for the purpose of quickly and affordably and beautifully designing any space in a home. And our most recent evolution is adding something called virtual staging as an offer, where we're actually adding photorealistic renderings of furniture and decor to photographs of properties, which are then used by real estate agents and home builders to help market and sell those properties faster and for more money. So that becomes an alternative to in-person traditional staging. So we have kind of two components of the Stuccco platform, and they are very much complementary. You have the inspiration that's provided by the virtual staging, and then you have the, let's call it the implementation that's provided by Stuccco online interior designers, which if you are in this group, if you're watching this, then you are either currently available for hire on Stuccco or you're considering it. And so this is going to be most useful for you in particular if you're an online interior designer, as that is what this presentation is about, are some significant updates made to the online interior design component of Stuccco.com. If you haven't been to Stuccco.com in a little bit of time, I do encourage you to check out the website. We've made a variety of updates to it, and I'll cover a couple of those let's call it user interface, user experience changes as well, but I do encourage you to take a look at the site. We made a lot of improvements. So here are the significant updates that I want to communicate with you, communicate to you today. The first and foremost is that we've made an adjustment to the price of online interior design from a service perspective. So the price of the design service itself. We have tested a variety of prices over the years. Everything from as little as $99 for what we called at that time a room refresh, all the way up to $5.99, which included a photorealistic rendering of the designed room. So we have tested all sorts of price points. We have tested all sorts of different funnels, different advertisements, etc. And the reason why we test so much is because, number one, testing is always good. Experimentation is always good in order to identify what's going to work best from a business perspective. And that's from a Stuccco business perspective, and also from your perspective. Like, if we're not generating projects, then it's not going to be a win for us, and it's certainly not going to be a win for you either. And so we need to run a lot of these experiments in order to identify which price is going to resonate with the market the best, so that we can drive more projects and more high quality projects too, to Stuccco and you as well. So I can't underscore enough. I mean, yes, we were able to generate projects at $99, but were they high quality projects? They weren't at all. They were homeowners with very small budgets, and they didn't really appreciate the value that the designer was bringing. But when we were up at $5.99, the issue with that is it was a much higher price point, and so you're getting into competing with the price that an in-person interior designer might charge. Also, there are a couple of other online interior design platforms out there that are competing at a very low price, which is putting some downward pressure on the expectations that homeowners have in terms of what they're willing to pay for when hiring an online interior designer. I hate that. I have some opinions about some other online interior design platforms. I won't go into that here, but I am a huge believer in the value that a designer brings, and that the designer should be paid a fair wage to represent the value that they offer their client. And so that is why we have made an adjustment to our price back to the kind of a higher price point. And specifically, we have changed the design fee to $499 per room. Now, as a Stucco online interior designer, you're making 80% of that design fee, which is almost $400. Now, in terms of what the deliverables are that you're expected to provide your customer, I'll go through that as well, because it's one thing about what you're going to make, but it's like, well, how long is this going to take me in order to satisfy the customer? And so if it's going to take you a long time, then obviously then it doesn't make sense for you either. So it has to be a fair wage that's going to properly compensate the value that you offer. And then also it has to take a investment of time from your perspective that makes sense, right? So our standard room fee, updated room fee, is $499 per room. If the customer has an open concept room, it's $699. All right, so we have run into a lot of open concept rooms recently, most commonly like a living dining combination. And so because those rooms are connected, almost always that customer wants them to be done simultaneously. And it doesn't make sense to charge them the same price as what we would charge for a standard room. So we reduce that rate to $699. So as a designer, you would make $559.20. Now, we've also recently had quite a few customers ask us to stage multiple rooms at once. And as a result, they've asked if we could offer them a kind of a volume discount for that significant purchase. And so we have started to offer a 15% discount if they have us design 3 or more rooms at a time. So they do have to place the order at once. It can't be, do one month, another month 2, and then another month 3 and get the 15% discount. All of them have to come in at the same time for them to unlock that 15% discount. Okay, so that is the first significant change that we've made on Stucco Online Interior Design, is an adjustment in prices. So hopefully you feel that this pricing structure makes sense, it's fair, it's going to compensate you fairly, get you excited about providing a high quality service to the customer, and also makes sense for the customer given what their expectations are in terms of hiring a designer. We have also made an adjustment to the checkout flow on Stucco as it pertains to Stucco Online Interior Design. So historically, what we were doing is actually driving traffic to the website, and typically we had an online interior design landing page, and then that landing page was then sending the user to a checkout experience that was asking them what room type they wanted to have designed, what about that room would you like to change, and then sending them directly to the billing step of the checkout, where they would go ahead and make the payment, and then we would connect them with a designer after the fact. Well, understandably, that didn't convert very well. And the reason that didn't convert very well, especially to cold traffic, is because one, they didn't really know who they were hiring. And then 2, it's a significant amount of money to pay without any sort of human interaction to give them the confidence that once they connect with a designer, they're going to be really satisfied with that experience. Now, we also tested a checkout flow where they would specify the room type, they would give information about the room that they were looking to design, things they liked about it, things they didn't like about it, requirements that they might have. And then we were sending them to a list of all of the available Stucco designers on the platform. That too didn't convert very well because it was extremely overwhelming for a homeowner to sift through over 40 designers that were available for hire. That is a lot of work for them to have to go through all of those designers' different portfolios, and then also read through their descriptions, and it was overwhelming to them. And so a lot of that traffic we would see bounce from designer profile to designer profile, and then ultimately not make any decisions whatsoever because they felt so overwhelmed. So we have made an adjustment to the checkout flow to address all of these challenges that we have felt and experienced. So like I said previously, we would do basically the user would just come to the site, they would hire a designer, they didn't really know who exactly that would be, and then we would connect them with the designer, and then the designer would fulfill the order. The updated flow is for the user to go to our website to book a free call with our team. Oftentimes, to be totally transparent, that's me, because customer service is so important to us at Stuccco, and also that I am 100% confident that this user experience, from a Stuccco perspective, from a designer perspective, from a homeowner perspective, is totally dialed in. I'm taking a lot of those calls. And during those calls, I'm learning about that homeowner. I'm asking them a huge list of questions so that I fully understand who they are, what their requirements are, what their design style is, what the measurements are. I'm getting links to their Pinterest board. I'm answering any questions or concerns that they might have about the online interior design experience. And then after I gather all that intel, then I look through all of the Stuccco online interior designers, and I make a recommendation to that homeowner with 3 Stuccco online interior designers who I think are going to be great candidates for that particular homeowner. Then the homeowner will review those 3 Stuccco online interior designer profiles and select one. When they select one, they then pay Stuccco. We hold those funds in escrow. Stuccco introduces the homeowner to the designer and gives that designer all the intel that we gathered during that call. And then the designer can just run right out of the gates, sprint right out of the gates in fulfilling that order for the homeowner. So it becomes a win-win-win. The homeowner feels 100% confident. They're not overwhelmed by the amount of designers that are available for hire. The designer has a homeowner who fully understands the process, and also the designer fully understands the requirements that the homeowner has. So it's just a win all across the board. So we've got a big change in terms of the flow. And I wanted to communicate that to you so that you can understand how orders are being fed to you, so that you can figure out, well, how can you position yourself as a designer to where you have the highest likelihood of being hired on the platform. And the number one way to do that is to optimize your Stuccco online interior design profile. And then once you're hired, just do a great job, right? Because the more positive stuff we hear from the homeowners, the more likely it is that we're going to keep recommending you as a designer. All right, and the third big change that I wanted to cover has to do with fulfillment. Once you are connected with the homeowner, we have made some adjustments to the fulfillment process itself. The first one is that we need you to use Stuccco provided templates. So we have created a Photoshop file that you can work off of when fulfilling Stuccco orders, so that the design deliverable that you provide the homeowner is Stuccco branded, and it also has a very consistent look and feel, and therefore quality. One thing that we have run into is having Jane, the designer, fulfill a deliverable in one way that happened to have Jane's branding all over it, It was formatted in a kind of different way. And then John would fulfill it using kind of his own style. And although both styles, can work, from a user experience perspective, it's very inconsistent for Stuccco to provide that to the homeowner. And so we need the designer, you, to be working off of Stuccco templates. Now, this really benefits the user because of the consistency of the quality and the look and feel of the design deliverable. It also benefits you, the designer, because you're able to work off of our own templates that we're going to constantly be optimizing. So the onboarding and even the design experience for you as the designer should be much more streamlined as a result. Okay? We've also provided you with some example deliverables, which you can reference when fulfilling your order, just to make sure that the quality of your design deliverables are on par with our expectations. And then finally, once you're finished with the final deliverable, it's a little redundant, finished with the final deliverable. Once you have the final deliverable and you are ready to have it sent to the homeowner, you must submit that final deliverable to the Stuccco team. We will just quickly glance through it. We're very trusting, but we just want to make sure that it's on par with our expectations from a quality perspective, and we can give you any feedback so that you can constantly improve as a designer. And also just to make sure that you've done the work that you've said that you've done, so that we can then send you the funds for all of the hard work that you've done. And then we'll send that deliverable on to the homeowner so that we can wrap the project up. All right, so some key changes here. All of them I'm really excited about because they represent changes based on all sorts of experimentation that we've done as a business. So I hope that you're as excited as I am about some of these, which should help you get paid more, help you receive projects in a much more clean fashion with this improved checkout flow, and then also help you with fulfillment by working off of templates that will ensure quality and consistency of the deliverables. Okay? And let's talk about next steps. So the first thing you should do is update your availability on Stuccco.com. I am sure that some of you, it's been a while since we've communicated, and some of you may have moved on to something else. Maybe you're not interested in being available for hire on Stuccco, and that's perfectly fine. But it is crucially important that you turn off your ability to be hired on Stuccco so that homeowners aren't in a situation where they get excited about working with you and then we find out that you're actually not interested in helping them. That wouldn't be good for you, it wouldn't be good for the homeowner, and it wouldn't look good for us. So please, 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 if you're not interested in fulfilling online interior design orders on Stuccco, that's perfectly fine. But please take the 10 seconds it takes to sign into your Stuccco profile, turn off your availability, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Literally uncheck one box. I'll show you exactly how to do that here in a second. The next thing is, if you are interested in remaining on board as a Stuccco online interior designer, you've got to optimize your Stuccco profile. This is in your best interest to add the most gorgeous examples of your work as possible. Do it consistently, do it in large quantities. It is going to make you appeal more to the homeowners that we're recommending consider you as their online interior designer. I'll also show you how to do that in a moment. And then finally, add reviews on your profile. Now, this isn't you manually adding reviews that are fictitious. This is you just merely asking your past clients if they wouldn't mind taking a few seconds to jump on your Stuccco profile and jotting a review, which will show up on your Stuccco profile. This social proof is so crucially important because, again, we're sending homeowner traffic to your profile, and they will be much more likely to get excited about working with you if there are a bunch of positive reviews that they read on your Stuccco profile. All right, so that's it. That is all I wanted to cover, are those 3 big changes and then these 3 next steps, depending on if you want to be available for hire on Stuccco or not. So I'm going to jump over to the website, and I am going to show you how you can turn off your availability if you so choose, and also add those photos and ask for those reviews. So I have signed into my Stuccco account, and then I've gone up to menu and then gone down to settings, and then I have clicked on the availability and billing tab. Here you will see 1 checkbox for the classic design. If you do not want to be available for hire on Stuccco, simply uncheck this box by clicking it and then going down and clicking Save Project, and that is it. If you ever want to be available for hire again, simply check the checkbox, go down, click Save Project, and then you'll be available for hire. Okay? So our team is referencing this list of designers. Every single designer who is on this list, we consider as being currently available for hire. Okay? If you're not on this list, we are assuming that you are not available for hire, so we will not recommend you to any homeowners. So if you're on this list and you don't want to be, then that means that you need to go into your settings, you need to turn off your availability to be hired, and click Save so that you don't show up here and there aren't any surprises from our perspective, your perspective, or the homeowner's perspective. If you are not on this list, then you need to go into the settings, you need to turn on your availability and click Save, okay? The other thing is that in order to be available for hire, you've got to add at least 1 photo of your work on your Stuccco profile. That's another little bit of logic that we have in terms of, listing people on here. We're not going to list designers as available for hire if they don't have any examples of their work. So you've got to upload at least 1 photo to your Stuccco profile. As I mentioned in the past, we highly encourage you to do many more than just 1, right? 10s or even 100 photos would be great, assuming they're of high quality. So how do we add photos of our work? All you do, again, when you're signed in, is go to Menu and then go to Feed. And from here, you just click Add a Photo. When you click Add a Photo, you'll be able to navigate to your local machine and then upload photos that are examples of your work. You can post those photos, and those photos will then be shown on this feed page. They will also be shown on the inspiration page. And then they will also be shown on your profile page. Specifically, they'll be shown in your designs section of your profile and in your creation section of your profile. Creations are like your albums, okay? So you have creations, and then within the creation albums, you have your individual photos. So you categorize your photos into creation albums, okay? So you can manage all of your creation albums here. You can delete them if you want to as well. All right. And the designs are these photos that you've just recently uploaded. All right. So most often, we're actually recommending designers, and we're sending homeowners directly to the designer's design section of the designer's Stuccco profile. All right. So that's how important these photos are for you to upload, because this is what the homeowners are referencing when deciding whether they're excited about working with you, okay? The next thing is getting those reviews. And the way to do that is just simply going to your Stuccco profile, grabbing this URL, and then sending it to a past client and saying, hey, would you mind jumping over to my Stuccco profile and just writing a positive review for me? It's gonna really help me out a lot, and it is. And what somebody who is not signed into their profile is going to see is they're going to see a little write a review link right here. I don't see this on my profile because I'm looking at my own profile, and we don't want to allow users to write a review of themselves. That wouldn't be very honest. So you, to other people who you refer to your Stuccco profile, there's going to be a little write a review link right here, and they're going to be able to click on that link, write a little review of you, and then it'll be publicly visible on your Stuccco profile. So very simple for them to do, takes like 10 seconds tops, and it's really valuable to you because you get that social proof from past clients. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.